Meghan Markle made her first official engagement look easy today as she and Prince Harry wowed huge crowds during a walkabout where she introduced herself to people with a cheery, "Hi, I'm Meghan." The royal couple shared countless handshakes, high fives, hugs and took presents including bags of Haribo sweets, Harry's favorites, from crowds 5 deep chanting their names in Nottingham today. Meghan looked happy and relaxed throughout, chatting about their wedding at Windsor Castle next year and quitting the hit show Suits while thanking people for braving the cold to see us and making us feel so welcome. "I'm so happy," she said at one point, adding, "It's just such a thrill to be here." The star, wearing a 585-pound coat and carrying a 455-pound handbag, kept resting her hand on Harry's back in a repeated loving and reassuring gesture and for long periods clutched his arm and held his hand. Red carpet veteran Ms. Markle also went it alone to chat with people lining both sides of the route, accepting everything from bars of chocolate to cards and bunches of flowers. At one point a young woman dropped a glove and Meghan noticed in the corner of her eye, picked it up and handed it back to her. Anne Maguire, who brought her nearly 3-year-old son Leo with her, said, "She grabbed my hand and said, 'I'm so glad you braved it to stand in the cold,' and said of Meghan, 'She's such a natural.'" Katie Shaw, 22, said the couple were very down-to-earth even though they're royal and said, "It's all about Suits. We really like Suits and she told us there are going to be 2 more series." The prince looked fit to burst with pride as he watched as his new fiancée worked the crowds like an old pro. He also saw the funny side today when he was asked what it was like to be ginger and engaged to a Hollywood star like Meghan Markle and admitted himself their romance was unbelievable and said, "It's great, isn't it?" With no private secretary yet, she had to hold the flowers and her handbag in the same hand but carried on greeting well-wishers. A little while later one of Harry's aides took the blooms from her. The model and actress, 36, also showed that she is already learning the royal rules when it comes to official visits, politely declining to pose for a selfie, telling one couple, "We are not allowed." Ms. Markle spent around 25 minutes meeting the crowds in Nottingham with Prince Harry, charming members of the public as she introduced herself with a cheery "Hi, I'm Meghan. I'm so happy," she said at one point. "It's just such a thrill to be here." Harry and Meghan arrived a few minutes ahead of schedule and, after greeting dignitaries, immediately plowed off to speak to the waiting crowds. Although they stood for a second, wrapped around each other, Meghan showed no hint of nerves and after joining Harry for a while on one side of the street, confidently peeled off on her own. The prince and the actress immediately undertook a traditional royal walkabout, plunging into the crowds to shake hands. The couple spent long periods speaking to people who congratulated them on their engagement, with the prince handing out high fives to youngsters who came to see them. Ms. Markle was wrapped up against the cold in a long dark blue coat by Meghan, and boots. She was also without gloves, so her engagement ring was on display, and carried a handbag, something the Duchess of Cambridge rarely does. Prince Harry's fiancée mingled with the crowds in Nottingham city centre, telling people how she hoped they weren't too cold in the chilly December weather. Meghan, 36, showed that she is already learning the royal rules when it comes to official visits, politely declining to pose for a selfie, telling one couple, "We are not allowed." Barbara Miller, 63, from Nottingham, said, "She said thank you very much for braving the cold. I said, can we have a selfie? She said we are not allowed to do selfies. I said congratulations. She was so pleasant, she was lovely. She said to my husband, your hands are really cold." Husband David Miller, 74, added, "I shook her hand. She said it was really cold." Corey Burns, 80 from Clifton, said Meghan pointed out her home state of California is warmer than the UK. Corey said, "I used to live in California, so I asked her where she was from and she said it's warmer over there than here." Irene Hardman, 81, from Ruddington said, "I just said she's wonderful and beautiful and they'll be absolutely wonderful together. She kept saying thank you so much. They were just wonderful. She kept saying I can't believe it, I've been made so welcome and I can't believe it."